Hey guys, what's up? It's Monkey. I'm back for another video. In today's video, we will be continuing What If Cell Went Back Too Far. And oh baby, this is where things get big. This is where things get really intense. But before we get into it, please make sure you drop a like down below and subscribe with post notifications on, as it would really be appreciated. Also make sure you go follow my Instagram and share this video around, because this is where the story really kicks into motion. And with all that said, let's get right into this. So with the death of Frieza and Cell becoming the hero of Namek, things return to peace and we see the Z fighters remain on Earth. We now enter a 3-year time skip, and in this time skip we see Cell put all of the Saiyans through some very intense training. He calls it Super Saiyan training. This does lead to Goku and Raditz achieving Super Saiyan. Of course, this is quite the shocker to the both of them, but they are able to grow immensely strong from this training, and they are training all the time. Of course, Cell is very happy with this, but seeing the two of them both wrapped in golden auras, he realizes something. His original goal, it's been altered, but what even really is it anymore? What is his goal? Well, he has two options. The first is to absorb everyone and go down the path of evil and achieve perfection, which he so desires, teaming up with, of course, Dr. Gero, who is currently making the androids. And his second option is the path of good, to betray Dr. Gero and essentially turn over, to the side of the Z fighters. Now, Cell really struggles with this decision, and rightfully so. He tries to think far into the future. What would Cell enjoy? Well, Cell knows he enjoys a good fight and the thrill of battles, but he also wants perfection. Cell tries to find a balance, but he can't. He just can't. He really struggles with this, and his mental state is deteriorating. And over the next 3 years or so, Cell really struggles with what to do during all this. It does arise some suspicion with the other Z fighters, specifically Gohan, who is now as old as he was in the Cell games, due to going to the time chamber so many times before, and he can tell something is up with Cell. He doesn't know what it is, but he doesn't sense it's good. Now, he has yet to achieve Super Saiyan, but slowly but surely he is getting there. He does, however, manage to achieve Ikari. Not that he really needs or anything, but, it's a cool, nice form to have. His main goal is a Super Saiyan, but it's still, Ikari is still always going to be a good transformation just to have in your cards. Cell continues his training with the rest of the gang, and everyone grows a lot stronger. The fateful day of May arrives, May 9th specifically, and the androids should attack. However, nobody actually knows this except Cell. Of course, he didn't tell any of them. And this is where things could get tricky. Cell has been waiting for this day to finally arrive, and so that he will decide what he's going to do. But then, after going to the city to look for the androids, he's shocked because the worst thing happens. Nothing is there. He doesn't understand. He tries to attack a civilian or two to alert the androids or, to increase his ki, but he can't find anything. Cell is so confused. He tries going to the Red Ribbon Army base, but it's all but deserted. He goes in and searches for Dr. Gero's lab, eventually stumbling upon it, surprised to find it's empty and everything inside it has been taken. The Red Ribbon Army base has been all but abandoned. Cell is confused. He continues to search for Dr. Gero, but he can't find anything. He looks around the whole of Earth for anything, any clues, any trace of the Red Ribbon Army, but he finds nothing. Kaput. It's as if they never even existed in the first place, and this is the worst thing that could have happened to Cell. He begins questioning, what could have happened? And this starts to drive him to madness. Where is Gero? He goes to where he left Vegeta, and he does consider letting the prince out, but he quickly decides against it, as it really wouldn't bring anything good. Cell continues frantically trying to search for anything, something that could tell him what to do. How could have things ended up like this? He never meant for any of this to happen. He thinks about everything since the day he found Ozaru Goku in the forest, and he really ponders what he should do with himself. Kami also has noticed this strange behavior within Cell and decides to keep an eye on him. Cell decides after, a couple hours of searching to just head back to Goku's house. There's no point staying here. Sensing a sudden burst in power, Cell decides to really go there, and as Cell arrives, he sees a sight that he never would have expected to see. Goku is on the ground in Super Saiyan, his energy bursting, clenching his heart. Cell asks Raditz, "What's going on?" And Raditz explains they were sparring in Super Saiyan when suddenly this happened. We see Chi-Chi, who's standing next to Goku, who's crying while Goku screams in agony. His energy is currently at its highest, and he screams and screams as he's clenching his heart, similar to when he fought Android 19. And Goku is screaming and screaming. He doesn't understand what's going on. Cell's trying to figure out what's going on. Oh no, he remembers. The heart virus. How could he have forgotten? This was the main issue in the future timeline. If he didn't do something quick, Goku would die. However, then, for some reason, he felt something within his body. A sudden impulse. Something in his head. Something in his mind. It was telling him to absorb Goku, to stab him. Cell then realized that this was the perfect opportunity, and as he realized this, it was as if time slowed down. Cell was in the perfect opportunity. Goku had his energy at its highest, and he was going to die in a couple of days anyways, so was it even that bad? Cell had a war going on in his mind. What should he do? He saw Goku screaming in pain, and he thought about everything he and Goku had been through. He had practically raised him, but then, all of a sudden, as if fate had come into play, without even thinking, Cell's tail moved in, and it went in and stabbed Goku right through the chest, draining him completely of all his energy. Raditz and Gohan were shocked. Cell drained Goku completely, and he collapsed onto the ground, dead. The last bits of his energy gone. He looked up at Cell right before he was about to die, and smiled at Cell, who currently had a horrified expression on his face. What had he just done? He had just killed Goku. His energy was huge, but at what cost? To gain this power, his best friend had just had to die in front of him, and he had been the murderer. He looked at Raditz, and without even thinking, he knocked him out, sending him flying. Cell knew Raditz would be angry, so he just decided to knock him out, didn't even want to see how Raditz would react. Cell, however, hadn't accounted for the other two people there. Yes, he had gotten rid of Raditz, but he hadn't gotten rid of Gohan and Chi-Chi. They both looked horrified, and suddenly Gohan screamed, roaring. A primal roar like no other exited from his mouth. He screamed as his ki exploded. It was huge. He screamed as tears came from his eyes. He achieved Super Saiyan. This was, of course, because he had just seen his father die in front of him. He then looked at the murderer, Cell. He screamed at him, "You killed my father!" With that roar, he landed a punch at Cell, sending him flying out of the house, smashing through the door. Gohan then shot after him at an incredible speed and unloaded a flurry of attacks, all intending to kill him. Cell was horrified. He didn't know what to do. He looked at Gohan in fear as he defended against the attacks. Gohan unleashed as much power as he could, and then, out of the corner of his eye, Cell saw Chi-Chi. She was crying over the corpse of her husband. Gohan continued to get angry as he continued to fight. Slowly, Cell realized what had happened. He had killed Goku, his best friend. Gohan screamed, "Why, Cell? Why did you do this?" Cell didn't have an answer. Gohan continued to question him, asking him all these questions about why Cell had done what he had done. Gohan screamed at Cell, "I swear, I'll avenge my father." Gohan lands another hit on Cell, sending him flying into the sky. Gohan then screams and says quietly, "Kamehameha!" He unleashes a full power Kamehameha that flies towards Cell, hitting him directly, obliterating parts of his body. Cell, however, regenerates. Cell looks at Gohan solemnly, and Gohan looks at Cell. Both have looks of sadness, both for different reasons. Cell can then sense Kami and the other Z fighters are coming, and so he looks at Gohan in a quiet voice, says, "Gohan, I'm sorry." He then flies in and lands a punch at Gohan's face, not before yelling, "Solar Flare!" Gohan is shocked as he is then blinded. This is enough of a distraction. Cell flies away into the atmosphere and eventually into space. Cell can breathe in space, And so he decides to leave Earth, wondering where it is he can go. He will never be accepted anywhere. The face Gohan made when his father died in front of him is now stained and imprinted in Cell's mind. He feels horrible. He can think about Chi-Chi's sadness, Raditz, what he'll be feeling, Gohan's sadness. Why had he killed Goku? Why hadn't he accounted for Goku getting the heart virus? How could things have gone so terribly? He travelled across the universe, wallowing in his own self-pity. He didn't know what to do. He knew all the Z-Fighters would be shocked. He didn't belong anywhere. He didn't know where he would ever be accepted. How could he have done this? He had contemplated whether being a villain or, joining the Z-Fighters, and now it was clear to him he should have joined the Z-Fighters. And his ability to be indecisive, the way he had been indecisive, has now caused his downfall. He doesn't know what to do. This is the lowest point in his life. He continues to fly across the universe, going to the only place he can think that he'll ever be accepted, the place where he's done the most good, Namek. And that's where we're going to be ending this part off for now. So, please let me know what you guys thought down in the comments below. What do you think will happen next with Cell? What do you think of Cell killing Goku and Gohan getting really angry? I'm really excited to hear what you guys think of this, so please make sure you do leave a comment down below. I really have been enjoying coming up with the story for this. This is the key pivotal moment in the story. This is like that main moment. I know you're all confused. Hey Blaze, what the hell was going on? I don't understand. Why did Cell just kill Goku? And before you all get angry, don't get too angry at Cell. Just think about how much he's going through. So yeah, please make sure you do leave a like down below on this video, as it would be really appreciated, and subscribe with notifications on. And with all that said, I will see you all in the next video. Laters.